Hey guys, Shay here from Full on a Journey. Today I'm going to be doing an opinion piece on a blog post that was done by Duck Soup Productions about not trimming his decks. This is my third attempt to record this video because the first one was viciously mean, just aggressive and mean. The second one was such a pendulum swing in the other direction where I was trying to just be very factual. I had removed all emotion and just saying, well, this means this, you didn't consider this. And I was trying to separate my emotion from the response. And I realized that that is dumb. Like, obviously, I had an emotional response or I wouldn't take the time to make a video about it. So I'm going to try to be less hateful. But yeah, I'm kind of upset about this. So, what are we talking about? This is the blog post that Duck Soup Productions put up on September 6th of 2020, essentially saying his art is perfect. If he frames his art, the frame is part of the art. Do not second guess me. What a nice line. There's a lot in here that's just wrong on so many levels that you just shouldn't be saying to people who you hope are going to purchase things from you. And I'm not even saying that from a tarot reader point of view. That's from working in sales. You want people to purchase your stuff. Don't limit the people who you want to buy your stuff. You never want to limit your customer base. That's just common sense. What really made me want to make this video is whenever anybody for any reason, no matter what your motivation is, does a walkthrough of a deck where they speak positively about that deck, you are essentially giving free advertising. Facts, okay? On my Maybe Lenormand review video, I've had 3 people say, this deck is on the way. Ooh, now I want to purchase. Like, that wasn't my point of doing that. Like, I wasn't trying to get people to buy the Maybe Lenormand. I just liked it and thought it would be a cool video. Anytime that you speak positively about something and you do this walkthrough online, somebody's going to see that video and be inspired to purchase. So for him to say in this blog post, as I looked at the cards she had destroyed, it made me so mad I couldn't finish watching the video. So what? Like, you couldn't finish watching the video that for you was free advertising? I have a clip of the video up here, and at the time that I took the screenshot, it had 222 views. So maybe only one person, but one person watched her and thought, oh, she said really nice things about this art. I think I want to check this out. And then you got a customer, and your response to that was, she destroyed the cards. I couldn't look. Get over yourself is kind of my opinion there. The other thing that really gets me is in the end here where he says, and I'm going to talk about the difference in trimming and where that comes from in a minute. This addendum, which was not there when I initially was so pissed off that I knew I was going to make a video about this, was there when I went back to take the screenshots to make this. And he's saying that, he comes from this view of like a comic collector or like an antique toy collector. And I do understand that. I don't personally collect that way, but I certainly have friends that do, and I understand that entirely. But those are pieces that are huge legacy things that you know for sure will be invaluable in the future. And to have the kind of arrogance to think that your tarot deck's made of collage art, which I'm not, and I'm not trying to insult collage art. I just mean it's collage art that he then prints on makeplayingcards.com. Both of the decks that I have purchased from him came with the makeplayingcards.com coupon. Okay, so I know my decks came from there. Maybe he's using a different printer now. But he certainly wasn't when I was giving him my money. The arrogance of assuming that your Make Playing Cards print-on-demand tarot deck is going to be invaluable in the future is a level of arrogance that I cannot comprehend. Okay, that is not the same as a 1960s Superman lunchbox. Not remotely at all. I just can't. Like, I cannot imagine how you get to a place in your mind where you think that your tarot decks need to be treated that way when you haven't even gone through any kind of process of traditional publishing. It's essentially a pre-order situation. Like, you didn't buy all those decks and then ship them out. Like, they're pre-ordered, they're prepaid for. So clearly, this is not a limited edition, once in a lifetime situation. So here are some photos of my deck of the Tinker's Damn Tarot, which specifically is one of the ones that he was talking about in the blog post, and having characters and things reaching over the frame to create this 3D illusion. I don't care. Because, and specifically relaying back to his comment about comic books. Okay, in a comic book, you see a frame with a scene in it. Okay, and then you read that frame. Okay, you've interpreted this frame. Now we're going to the next frame. And now we're going to the next frame. And it makes a cohesive story, but it's individual frames. Okay, and don't come at me, comic book people. Yes, I know some pages are full bleed, but it's still a singular scene. My intention when I lay spreads, and it's typically in some kind of, tableau like this where the cards are touching each other, because I personally don't want an individual frame per card. I want them to blend together. That is my intention. Okay, the easiest and most obvious example on this particular picture that you're looking at is the dirt in the Seven of Earth is about to fall on the couple in the Two of Water. That's going to change my reading. If both of those pictures were framed, it would remove that feeling of the imminent dirt falling on their heads. That's why I take off borders and frames. It has nothing to do with whether or not it's part of the art. It's because the way that I read, I want the images to connect to each other. That's my literal intention. So anything that is separating its art, even the beautiful borders that Lisa Hunt draws on hers, I cut them off. I want it gone. I want to see what the image is going to do when it's next to another image within that deck. Here is another spread of cards from the Tinker's Damn Tarot. I was intentionally looking for the Eight of Fire and the Two of Earth because honestly, those were the only two that I could vividly remember of actually cutting off something. And I think maybe the Fool. I think you cut a foot off of the Fool when you did the frame, removed the frame. But I was looking for these two specifically. Now, if you remember in the picture initially about the blog post, there was a picture of the Tiger's card that you see here in the Eight of Fire. So I cut off a little bit of the wing and the feet of this tiger on the bottom. And then in this sort of lining up of the sun and the earth and the moon came over the frame. So I sliced off a side of the moon. Did we really lose the effect? Are the tigers not flying at us? Is the moon not clearly closer to us than that compass and the earth and the sun? I didn't lose any of that effect. So this effect that he's sure that we destroyed, is not lost. I appreciate that it looks slightly less 3D because of it not being on top of the frame. I'll give you that. It is. But it works better for my purposes this way. To reference back about what you are selling and why it is absolutely ridiculous to think that people are going to perfectly preserve and baby your decks in vacuum-sealed card protector packets, is you are not selling art. I am getting that vibe that's what you think. You clearly, Mr. Duck Soup, think that you are selling art to people. You are selling a deck of cards. Up here on the screen is my favorite how to shuffle tarot card videos on YouTube, and both of the YouTube videos that I'm mentioning will be linked down below, so feel free to go check them out. Do you see the bend in these cards? That's what people do to decks of cards. They shuffle them, they deal them, they mix them up. Sometimes they fly off the table. That happens constantly if you use them. Tarot decks, in my opinion, and what I am getting from YouTube, the opinion of most people, is that it's a tool. Okay, that tool has many different uses and many different purposes, but it is a tool. And if there is something about the tool that you have purchased that doesn't work for you, you fix it until it does. So if for my purposes, the tool that I bought from you has a frame on it that's bothering me, I'm getting rid of it so that I can use the deck of cards that I bought. And for you to say, don't trim it, give it to someone else, or don't get it at all, infuriates me, considering I have given you money. I paid you for these decks, and now your opinion is you should have given them to someone else. You should never have even bought them. Okay, give me my money back. I mean, that's fine. You think I ruined it? Give me my money back. I can't. Sorry, I'm getting a bit emotional again. If you wanted people to just view your art, you would sell them in frames for people to hang on the wall. But if you continue to sell decks of cards, they're going to be shuffled and they're going to be used. They're going to get bent. They're going to get edged. They're going to get trimmed. And the more that you talk about how you would never even consider modifying a deck, the more sure I am that you don't actually read with any tarot decks. Because even decks that I wouldn't trim for whatever reason, I think about it. I think, man, these cards are so big. Or maybe even it's a full bleed card, and I wish it had a border to trim because it's so big and I have tiny hands. Okay, or maybe it's a really small deck. Okay, and the one that comes to mind immediately is the one that everyone's been saying needs to be reprinted larger for years, Shadowscapes. Those cards are gorgeous, and they should be bigger so that I could see every single tiny little detail. But you think that about your tarot decks if you continually read with them. So thanks for letting me know that you're not a tarot reader. You're just someone who enjoys the process of making the deck and then you're selling it. In conclusion, I will absolutely never give Duck Soup Productions another cent of my money. And I think that I really learned a lesson here about really looking at all of the presents I can find from someone online before I fund them in any way, shape, or form. And I think that his little addendum that ended with the "it's your money, do what you want" was hot garbage and a waste of his time and a waste of anybody else's time. You're welcome to go to read it for yourself and see if there's some nuance that I have missed or something about my point of view that was skewed or wrong. But I now know everything I need to know about this fella, and he's not getting any more of my money. I know I kind of wavered back and forth between talking to a general audience and talking to him specifically, but again, it's because this particular topic infuriated me so much because I have given him so much money, and I just wanted it to be out there. I wanted people to know that it was said. I know it went around on a couple of tarot Facebook groups, specifically Tarot with Scissors, which is a fantastic tarot deck modification group. And in case anyone is wondering about what they can do to ensure that no one alters your tarot deck ever, there is nothing. There is nothing, because everybody has a different opinion. Everybody wants something a little bit different. And if they buy your tarot deck, they are going to alter it. Somebody out there is going to alter it. Somebody's going to trim edges. Somebody's going to file off the gilding. Somebody is going to take a marker to the edges and edge it. Somebody's going to cut it up and make a big poster board collage out of it. Somebody's going to cut it into a circle and put resin over it and make it a coaster, which is awesome, by the way. You people are so brilliantly creative that I am amazed, and thank you for all these wonderful ideas. If you are interested in that Facebook group, It is Tarot with Scissors. I don't think I can link a group on Facebook, but I will make sure that I note that so you know exactly what to search for on Facebook in the description box. And thank you for watching. You can follow me on Instagram. It's at Full in a Journey, or email me about anything tarot at fullinjourney@gmail.com.